Hi there, welcome back. I have it's not really a thrift haul, so I did my best to cover up haul. I used the sunshine. It's a little bit overcast. The sun can't decide whether it's going to come out or not, so unfortunately I have my overhead light on. And so if you're seeing a lot of shadows, I apologize. But anyhow, welcome to a haul because I hit my Kirby book sale today, which I shouldn't have done, but I'm doing it. I know I have more than enough books to last me for as long as I can make books. But I gotta tell you, I really liked the optimism of my father-in-law. I believe he was like 84, and he was getting to be extremely frail. I'm sure he must have been like 75 pounds soaking wet near the end when he was really starting to fail. But it was time to renew his passport, and sure enough, if he didn't go for a 10-year passport, and you gotta admire that. So I'm thinking, Catherine, buy the books. Buy the books, Catherine. Anyhow, before we get into it, let me show you, speaking of buying the books, earlier this week I bought that blank leather book for 99 cents that's full of cotton paper that had never been used. So because it had sewn signatures, I was able to get out all these wonderful signatures of cotton paper. And so those are all complete signatures that I was able to get out. Isn't that nice? And then these are the ones that get glued together, so there's no saving them as a complete folio. So I put them through my Tim Holtz decollage paper cutter chomper thing, and so they'll get used, whether they get folded in half or I don't know, we'll see. Anyhow, so I just thought I'd show you. So if you're thrifting, let's come back a bit. If you're thrifting and you see, look for on the shelves, look for empty or almost empty journals, because it's a cheaper way to get, especially look for the ones that are sewn. So try and find the center of a signature and make sure there are threads, because if they're glued together, then they're just a lot of work. You literally have to tape, or however you're going to join them and create a fold. But watch for them, because it's a very inexpensive way, and it's less expensive usually. Like 99 cents, I could not, well, first of all, I couldn't get cotton paper, but 99 cents, even at my dollar store, a journal that's been sewn, which they do have at my Dollarama, would still probably be about $3.25, which is still a very good price to pay for already folded folios of paper. So always keep that in the back of your mind. Now, I have been working on Miss Peg off camera, and she's looking so lovely. So I thought I'd explain what I've done to her before we get into what I bought today. So when I was inspecting her prior to gluing her new text block in, I didn't like how these corners here, which surprised me, these corners instead of these ones, were starting to wear away and lift. And I just wanted to find a way to give them a little more strength. And I thought about maybe putting just fabric over it, like old tea-dyed fabric. I thought that might look good. But I just kept thinking of, because Peg's dad was an Irish agitator, so I keep thinking of Irish lace when I think of her, and the shamrocks on the cover and that. So this is antique lace here and here. That, let me find the piece that of course my beloved Nancy shared with me. I think this was from a valance, however you pronounce it, because there were sort of these oval slots or loops that a curtain rod could go through. And so what I did was, this circle here, there was one right here. So I cut it out. I'll be able to use these for other things. And then I took it and cut it in half. And I put half up here and half down here. And then I did some sewing machine contortionism to get this part. Was easy. Sewing along this edge was quite easy, but to sew down and around here was kind of tricky. This was just barely, I was barely able to make the turn under the arm of my old sewing machine. I'm sure by now it's vintage. It's an old Kenmore. I mean, we haven't had Sears up here in ages, so to get a Kenmore sewing machine. Anyhow, I got it in. I glued it down first, but I didn't trust just the glue. And I wanted just enough to hold down that fabric there and there, but not cover up the title. That's one of my bugaboos. Everyone's got their little bugaboo that they just, I don't want to do that if I don't have to. And my bugaboo is if a book cover has a title on it, I don't like having to use fabric and covering up part of the title. And if I used fabric, it would have, here, let's say I used this fabric to try and hold down that corner, it would have been egg of my heart, and I couldn't have lived with it. I couldn't have. Whereas at least by doing lace, I knew that if I did lace, first of all, I could put it on an angle. I could choose a piece that I could angle. And plus, if I did have to go down a little bit lower, hopefully you'd see the P through the lace. And that I can live with. But fabric covering it, I can't handle that. Like when I used to make little golden books. I know a lot of people, they're quite all right with it, and that's great. I'm glad. I envy their peace that they feel in covering up part of the title with the fabric. But I always found a way to get the new spine in without covering up the title if the title was right across. Otherwise my head would explode. So that's what I did. Now I'm happy. Those are much stronger, much more fortified. And now she's got her end papers in. She's got bias tape ties that are all nice and grunged up and ratty looking. And she's got old laces in here. I put some of that lace in that I found the other day at the thrift store in that bag, and I sewed it in the opposite way. Rather than having this finished edge sticking out here, I put the raw edge sticking out. I thought it was the prettier side, and I think that looks quite nice. So, and then I have the other laces from Doilies here. There's one of those clip-on earrings. See what I mean? I'll be able to put, this isn't what it's going to be, but a clip-on earring is a much prettier way than a paper clip to hold papers in. Isn't that pretty? So keep an eye out. Some of them can be pretty ugly. Clip-on earrings. I admire our ancestors, the strong women who went before us, who wore those painful clip-on earrings. My mother did for many, many, many years. I remember my father pleading with me, "Would you please talk your mother into getting her ears pierced? I'm running out of gifts to give her for our anniversary and Valentine's Day and her birthday." So I had to find a way to talk her into it, because she really wasn't interested in getting her ears pierced. I got it done, and then she got lots of earrings from Dad, so he was always good on fussing over her, on her special days. So he was a keeper for sure. I'm really, really happy with how this is going. It's coming along, and I will be doing some work on camera. I hope you'll forgive me for getting this work done off camera. I had quite the month of July, so you know what, when I do some work in here, we're gonna sit down and have a good talk, and in the meantime, I think Peg is looking so pretty. I'm so happy with how she turned out. It's funny how quite often the rattiest looking books end up becoming some of my favorite journals. I just love, I'm sure, I can't remember where I purchased her, but I'm sure when I bought her, whoever was cashing me through was probably wondering what's that woman thinking buying that book. Look at it. It's a mess. She's a beautiful mess. So there we go. So I've got that done. So I guess the first thing we'll do is the book sale. So let me go get the books, and then we'll go through them, and I'll just show you. I didn't get very many, but I got one that I'm going to need some suggestions for. I'll show you. You'll see. So the first batch of books, there were some books waiting for me on my Catherine shelf, which just delights me no end. When I get there and check my shelf, and there they've put aside some books for me. And this one, although it's new, it's one of those books where they've reprinted copyright-free artwork into it, and it's got little pictures that are 3D. So I'll have to figure out. Oh, I see. It moves. I'll have to figure out how they did it. And this one must... Oh, okay. I remember books used to do this. Okay, this is going to be fun. And this one, oh, the mother gives the child a kiss, and the child, I think that arm is supposed to go over top. There. Oh, it's not doing it. That's all right. So I hope you can see Mama giving the little one a kiss. And then here's another one of those ones. So cats. Uh-oh. It's a little bit, it looks like it's going to need a little help because this one seems to be missing a piece. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Even just the frame alone is sweet with the little forget-me-nots. And this one has a little one saying their prayers before bed. And there's cute artwork on the other side too. So that was a keeper. I like the size of this one because it's small this way, but it's nice and thick this way, and it's Dickens' Bleak House. And of course I thought that would make a good Cratchit Christmas book. You know me, the Cratchits are always on my mind at Christmas, more so than Scrooge. I'm a go Cratchits. It's got some cute little... I've never read Bleak House, so perhaps I should read this before I cut it up, but it looks like it's got illustrations in it. I didn't see a publication date. Carlisle. Bookseller and stationer. This cannot be. This has got to be old. Look how pretty that is. Somebody wrote in Charles Dickens' age. But Collins Clear Type Press, you didn't put the date that you published this in. Oh boy, that's small print. And as ever, Dickens had a lot to say. Those paragraphs are huge. I'm thinking late 1800s. That's my bet. I'll do some research and we'll see. This one's one of those little British ladybird books, and it's got some very, very pretty illustrations in it. Aren't these pretty? Were you like me and thought that it was Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name? Yeah, I did. Aren't they nice pictures? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, he got into the paint. Look at the father. He's painting the house in a shirt and tie. Oh my goodness. Ward Cleaver. Lead us not into temptation. They're getting into the cookies. Anyhow, cute little book with some beautiful, beautiful illustrations. Look at those tulips. So that's cute. I wanted to get some little books and make some little naked journals. I thought I might have, if I have all these big plans, but I'm just trying to think of ways to raise money for next year for the Liver Foundation. So what year's that? Oh, 1957, 1956, Canada Savings Bonds. So this must be old. That would be my brother. 56. 57, that's my husband. What year is this? Thornton Burgess. 43. And then this one, yeah, this one definitely, I'm collecting thin size books to fill with definitely blank paper that I will most likely get from dollar stores and literally make them into writing journals. But I'm collecting green ones, so I already have a stack, and I might see if I could do like one a month, and just have like my liver book for a month. I wonder if they chose green as their color, because that's sort of the color we turn, those of us with liver disease, eventually green and neon yellow. Oh, the joys. This is one of the books that they put aside for me, and it's just got beautiful illustrations in it. Now, I have a feeling that's German. I don't know. So I'm going to need help from my bilingual friends out there. But the artwork, 1942, look at the artwork in this. It's just beautiful. Isn't it pretty? Really, really pretty. I think I'm going to have to use Visiting the Cemetery. Kirchhoff? I like visiting cemeteries. I'm one of those people. There's a name for it, for us weirdos that like cemeteries. And it doesn't even have to be cemeteries where I've got family buried, although those ones are the best because you can go in and sit and have a good talk. But I'm quite well known to, oh, look at that pretty cemetery, let's stop. And of course my husband is more than happy to do that because he likes cemeteries too. Thank goodness. It's part of his business. And I gotta find out what this means. The whole thing seems to have things to do with cemeteries. But I know there's a name for it. And when I was initially starting to work on our family tree, I would take my littlest son with me, and we'd hit all the cemeteries where I knew we had family buried so that I could get date of birth and death off the headstones before the internet existed. And he loves cemeteries too, because he knew that we'd hit the road and we'd usually bring a packed lunch with us, and off we'd go to hit some cemeteries and find our ancestors. And I'd say, well, right underneath us is your great-great-great-grandmother and grandfather, and I'd tell him all about them. And so now he's a cemetery lover too. I know some people are a little creeped out by them. They don't creep me out in the least. I don't know. I just have this feeling of awe and great respect when I go into a cemetery and I think of the lives that they lived. So I got those books. They had the little folder from, if you remember, I mentioned the gentleman named Brian who passed away last year. Brian is so sweet, and he was a high school teacher in our town for his whole career, and I think he knew everyone in the whole area. And what a kind, sweet man, and he always had a kind word for everyone. He was always at cash at Kirby Book Sale. Brian would cash you out. And he went too young. Now here's the one I want your help with, because I found another one of these and I couldn't walk away from it because it's a great book. This is one of my favorite ones for tea dyeing, because there's just so much room for journaling on these pages. You don't have to use them for what they were intended for. This is actually a 10-year gardening diary, day by day. So there's 365 days in here, and what you're doing, what the weather was. You can circle the picture and what the temperature was that day, and you can say a little something. And it's got space for 10 years. And so I'm hoping you can offer me some ideas, because first I thought, oh, it's green. Maybe I could figure out a way to include this in fundraising for the Liver Foundation, because, like I said, the awareness color for the Liver Foundation is green. So this is an expensive book. You can still get it from Lee Valley. It's not a cheap book, and I have 3 already. So this is number 4. So that's why I need to find it a good home, but I'd like to find a way to make the best use of it, or at least find it a good home. Like maybe this could be one of those things where if I reach a certain number of subscribers, I'll hold a raffle. I'll raffle it off, because it's not going to be cheap to ship, and I don't even mind being the one who pays the shipping. Anyhow, get your brains going for me and see what you think, what you can come up with, because this beauty is wonderful. Like I said, I wish I had a fellow junk journaler who journaled this in a similar way. Now, I do think there's great wisdom that Nancy and I live so far apart, because I think it could be a dangerous thing if we lived any closer than we do. But anyhow, get your brains going for me and see what you can come up with. I'm okay with anything. I'm okay with auctioning it off. I'm okay with taking it apart, tea dyeing it, and selling it in bundles, a variety of bundles in my Etsy shop. Even that might be a way for it to be not so heavy to send the whole book in one. This would be very expensive for me to send somewhere just in North America. I'm probably looking at the shipping being about $25–30 just to ship this. So I'm even thinking taking it apart, tea dyeing it, bundling up maybe 10 sheets per packet and selling it that way. Let me know what you think. Alrighty, and now I hit one little antique shop on my way home. So let me go get those things. Okay, so I was so fast at the book sale, I went down to the little town just south of Kirby. The book sale is up in Kirby, hence our little friend got her name from my happy place at the book sale. Our little curly-haired friend named Kirby. I've learned to just go in and say to them, "Do you have any ledgers?" And he said, "I don't have any ledgers today, but I do have something that might interest you." And I think this was a telephone book back when phone numbers weren't very long, because it's got the letters down here, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but then it's only got like 3 numbers: 322, 255, 453. There's only 3 numbers beside the names. And I have a feeling that that's back when, if you lived in a town and you could only phone within your town, there really just wasn't that many numbers to call, or I don't know, or if it was for an apartment building and those were the apartment numbers and you had to phone the operator and say, give me 396, or I don't know. Look at how beautiful this this handwriting is. Cheese factory. Cheese factory. No, Mrs. Joe Caverly. Cheese factory in Spring Hill. Cheese factory in Millbridge. Cheese factory in, I think, Westlegg. Cheese factory in Queensboro. I don't know. Bert Dingman was 59. Anyhow, I thought this was interesting and could make, even by cutting the paper and then folding it sideways, or folding it and tucking it into a pocket, it could be interesting. So I snagged that. I love the blops of ink. I have to remember to put more ink blops. Cool. So I found that. Well, he found that for me. I gave him my phone number. I said, if you get any business ledgers in, please let me know, and I'll come up and take a look at it. And I have some. I got some more. Milk, I forget what they call these. I'm old enough that I remember when you had to pull these out of your milk, when milk came in bottles delivered to your house. I'm that old. I have some already, but some of them I won't use. Like, I won't use this one, or else I'll put a sticker over it. Up here in Canada, we used to call, if it wasn't raw milk, it was homogenized milk, but we would shorten it and call it homo milk, short for homogenized. But it has now, of course, become an offensive term, which I don't like to perpetuate, even though that's what we called it that, but it was short for homogenized. And I have a ton of the ones that say that, and I know that, you know, some people say, oh, don't be such a prude or whatever, but for me, I need to feel comfortable, and I'm not comfortable perpetuating it. When something that once was nice gets turned into a cruel word, I don't like to. Anyhow, so those won't be used. That's okay. Bancroft Dairy. I bet that still exists up there. I should look it up and see if Bancroft Dairy, because they look brand new still. I think maybe what I'll do is I won't necessarily get rid of these. I will put them aside with the other ones that I have. But what I've done in the past is just found ways to put a sticker over top, or when I include it in a collage, I just find a way to cover up the words that I find offensive. So, but these are all great. So I'm happy about these ones. Happy. And these ones I will be happy with once I work with them a little. And then I found he had a box of it was a box stuffed full of postcards. I was hoping it would be there again. I've been to this store before, and I've been lucky enough to go a couple times now with Nancy and Alice. Hi Nancy, hi Alice. And they had he had the box there and more of them added in, and they were 2 for $1, I think. It was a good enough price that I was happy. So with kind greetings and good wishes for your birthday. I liked this one. Look, it's got a little envelope in it. I wonder what was in the envelope. I wonder if maybe at one point there was a pressed flower in the envelope, but I loved the color of these flowers here. Greetings from Niagara Falls. Miss Clara Merkel, 31 Eaton Street, Buffalo, New York. A Christmas one. Let's see. Let's go through them, shall we? What the heck? Let's have a little visit. So, peace be with you on this day. I love when I'll read through it later on my own. December 16th. This got sent to Gravenhurst, Ontario from Saskatchewan. A wish to my daughter, sweet birthday love. Ah, this one's got embossing on it. Nice. All around the edge. A little garden. That looks like a photo. One penny. I don't know what year. I'll have to look that up. This is a real photograph on something bromide card, printed in England. Oh, look at those little birdies. Oh, maybe I shouldn't be opening them all. We'll be here all day. That's pretty. So I was happy to find these. I need to make better use and be remembering to tuck at least one postcard into. Oh, there's one that will have to go into peg because it's got an Irish horseshoe on it. Birthday. From 17, so that must be 1917. Lovingly, Laura. Isn't that pretty? All right, let's see. That one's got somebody's. Merci de vida? I'm not sure. Not sure. Anyhow, the horseshoe on it means that it's going into Miss Peg. I love all the ones with the purple on it. Oh, look at that with the pansies. Reminds me of a Sunday school song. Little purple pansies touched with yellow gold. I won't inflict the rest of the song on you. I'll just tuck it there for now. That way I'll remember that that's the one I wanted in Peg. Okay, we're just going to go through it with the bags. That's pretty. Oh, I just love when they've got a letter on the back. Very pretty. Birthday. I think those are lilacs. With all good wishes. Oh, very pretty. More birthday. Isn't that cute with the little window and the little birds? Oh, I love it. A happy girl, to wish you many happy returns, joyful hours, happy days, and golden years. We need to go back to sending postcards. One penny. And there's the king. What year? 1911. So would that be George the Fifth? I'm not sure. They changed their names. That when they became kings, they didn't always keep their name, which is why Queen Elizabeth's father, his name was Albert or Bertie. But when he took the throne, he went by King George. Whereas Charles opted to keep his name, Elizabeth opted to keep her name. Queen Victoria's name was Alexandrina, but she opted to go by, I believe Victoria was her middle name, one of her middle names. Pretty. I like how some of them are French. Wahoo. Oh, there's another Irish one. I might have to make a decision. That's pretty too. Dear Alice, I congratulate you on your birthday. And I wish you many happy more, and hoping you will have a good time at your party. Why we could not come. Carrie told you why we could not come. Answer soon. Lizzie. Aw, isn't that cute? And then there weren't very many Christmas ones, but I got that one. Cast thy burden upon the Lord. Nothing like a morning one. Oh, here's a Christmas one. Don't forget an old friend this Christmas time. I loved that one with the little forget-me-nots. So there we go. There we go. I didn't inflict them all, the unwrapping on all of them on you. It's the next one that you are just going to go nuts over. I went nuts over it. I couldn't believe I found the real deal instead of having to use my rusty ones. Let me make room here. Hold on, I'm going to pause and clean off. So this is the one that I'm so excited about. I've got things sticking to me. So excited about what's in there. What's in here? This little store happens to be in this town, Orono. There's a huge antique market, 7,000 square feet, but they're so high priced. Everything is way overpriced. And I realize they need to make a living. They're doing the footwork and they need to make a living, but I've also learned over the years what is something that's fairly priced and what's really unfairly priced. And that store is really hesitant to have a little bit of a give and take on the pricing. Whereas there's a smaller store up the street, and he's much more happy to call the people that have booths in his. It's just a tiny little store, but some of the things he owns and some of the things he rents booths to. I think you can already see what I've got here, but let's come down a bit. So he keeps boxes of metal stuff, and I just loved these for the fronts of books. This one's got a bit of a curve on it. I think it was for maybe pulling out a drawer, but it's just enough that if I put it on a book, I could tie a ribbon through. Oh, sorry, up there. Oh my goodness, I could tie, if it was on the edge of a book, here, see what I mean? If it was on the edge of a book, I could put a ribbon through that part of it. Let's put Brian somewhere else. You go over here, Brian, and watch over me while I work. Do you see what I mean? I thought that would be cool. I think that was 25 cents. And this one too. I just thought that would be pretty. Just pretty. This one's not curved, so I'm not sure what else I could do with it. I could maybe put it in with Brad's, but put the ribbons through the cover here and then have it tie around the book. Or no, not run it off the page. Anyhow, I'll get my brain going on that one. Look at these. These are real ones. Isn't that neat? There's a whole bunch of them here. I forget how many he said are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, I was thrilled to find these. Like, the only book plates I have are purchased ones that I've purchased new and have either rusted them myself. Such as these ones I rusted myself. That's rusted myself. This one is alcohol inked. What else I have? I can't find any right now. I have some in oiled bronze, and they're just new, but they look really nice, and I do like them. I got them on Amazon. But these ones are real. Like, look at that. Isn't that fantastic? Oh, I'm so happy. And then I love these ones. Because these were drawer pulls. So that would be, I think I might get hubby to help, or yeah, I'm gonna need hubby's help. Curl that a bit more so it could be maybe an elastic around it to hold the book closed, or not sure yet, but I'm happy with those as well. They're just so naturally mucky. Isn't that neat? Not as many of these. He had a few others, but they were so badly dented, I don't think I would have been able to get them flat enough to go onto a book. They were really twisted and dented and banged up. But these ones, oh, I'm really excited about using these ones. Hold on, I think somebody's into something. What are you into? Don't get into trouble, okay? It's snoozy time. You haven't had a snooze yet today, and you're a tired puppy. Okay? Don't look at me with puppy eyes. Oh yeah, she's looking at me with puppy eyes. Okay, so that's my haul. So it's not really a thrift haul. It's more like a book and antique hunting haul. So I think I did okay. I'm really happy, and I'm happy with all these little guys here. So I'm going to get back to work on Miss Peg, and I might make a few. I got to make some tuck spots for Peg because I didn't do any. She has no tip outs, and I've got to find some ways to put some fun little tucky things into her before she's ready to go to her new home. So thanks for joining me today, and we will get together soon, possibly even if I can put these things away, possibly even if I can get to work. I'll try and turn my camera on again. We have a long weekend up here. In Ontario at least. I don't think it's Canada-wide. I think there's only certain provinces that have a long weekend. For Ontario, it's Simcoe Day in honor of the first, I think, Governor General of Ontario. Anyhow, we have Monday off, but it's a nice one because it's not recognized everywhere. It's a nice one because the stores are all still open. Phew. The ones like for Canada Day, everything closes, so you've got to make sure you get to the grocery store ahead of time. These feel like poker chips. Anyhow, take care. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this little thrift haul, and I hope you'll take a second and click like and say hi down below, and I'll say hi back at you. Take care. We'll talk soon. Bye.